Oh, I know you love it, D Rose. I know you love it, man.
Getting it
What's
fired up,
going
man.
What's going on? What's going on? Yo, I'm ready for this weekend. I am definitely ready for this weekend. But if you don't know, this is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt, clearly stated right down here. And D Rose is on this side of your screen. Um, Me and you talk, D Rose, pretty much every single week. But let the people know how you have been over this past week, man.
Things been good, and little gambling wise, didn't do too great. I mean, I came out plus, but only a little bit. I think I might have sent you a little bet slip. Only won like $53, but hey, I bet like 30. So hey, I'm not going to complain. If I can come out on the plus end and have a little house money to play with this weekend, hey, I'll be all up for it until I hit that Mega Million bet, baby. I'm all in.
Hell yeah, brother. Plus money, can't be mad at that. So while everyone's getting a chance to get in here on today's show, let you guys know real quick, we'll touch on this past weekend's UFC fights in Vegas. Sean Strickland versus Abus Magomedov. We'll give you guys some fight announcements, upcoming fights, things like that. And then lastly, everyone wants to know our UFC 290 picks. Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez happens this weekend, and me and D Rose are going to break down the card bottom to top and let you guys have all of our picks. So, with that being said, shout out to chat, right? Lush Lomain, man, you had a comment in here earlier, and it's gone now. It said the Golden Octagon over everything, and I appreciate that, man. So, shout out Lush Lomain. He was in here first. What is going on, Johnny Longcord? He's saying Bo, obviously, brother. Matthew saying howdy. What's going on, brother? And we got the legendary Lush Lomain. He is back here. He didn't go nowhere. He is here.
Yes, sir.
Silent 6 in the building. What's going on, brother? How you doing? And our guy Austin in the building.
What's
as always, dude.
What's
that? Shout out the scary movie reference there, dude. Yeah, man. So you kind of touched on it just a second. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This past weekend, dude, Sean Strickland, Abus Magomedov, dude. I guess I had my video earlier in the week that I'm going to kind of start doing to just kind of get it off the news, let everyone know what happened from the past weekend, because now it's 2 or 3 days later and everyone's like, all right, we know what happened this past weekend. But kind of just give me your thoughts on the card, and as you talk about certain things, I'll put little pictures up on the screen if you want, D-Rose.
No, I thought it was we talked about the card going in, that it was a lackluster card, but I thought actually for the performances, there was a lot of really good performances from this past weekend. We were super excited for that, or at least myself, Elvis Brenner and Guram, man. I was so fired up after that fight. I thought that was potentially a fight of the year, and I kept saying over and over, I said, dude, if that fight was the main event, it'd be fight of the year contender right now. And for me, it personally is. But I just thought for the main event, man, just to see a boost, just absolutely gassed, dude. I mean, dude, he looked like as if like I was going out there and trying to fight Sean Strickland, dude. Just like trying to go out there, give it your all. I mean, and he was crushing him with leg kicks there at one point. I think the most fatal blow was the eye poke from hell, almost impregnating Sean Strickland, as he had reiterated in the post-fight press conference. Man, that might have been the most fatal blow that a boost landed. After that, dude, literally Sean just boxed his ears off just from beginning to end. The second round until the fight was over, I had Sean Strickland in a 4-5 or decision. So I was expecting a finish, but I wasn't expecting one that early. I was expecting a little bit of a slower pace, but yeah, definitely ended up killing my one leg there at the end. But man, Sean Strickland just looked amazing. But a boost, dude. I mean, he had the cardio of a taxi cab driver, man. It was awful.
Yeah, man, I was pretty rough. A few that crushed mine, dude. It's like, man, I could not get over. Let me pull up the fights this past weekend real quick. What is a few that I crushed mine, dude? Oh yeah, one I had, because I was good because I had Romanov, I had Luana, I had the Guram versus Elvis to start round 3. I had Carol Hosa. I had Joe Anderson round 1. Oh, here it was. Renat versus Kevin Lee, dude. My parlay was spot on until this point. I had Renat versus Kevin Lee to start round 3, dude, and that shit lasted about 50 seconds. So that just crushed them for the night. And then the next one that just kind of ruined it was Bruno Ferreira. I had him like winning, and obviously he got crushed early round 1, dude. And then another one that I had Ismail Bonfim versus Benoit Saint Denis. That's I had
Grant Dawson, full Nelson,
Benoit Saint Denis, and Ismail Bonfim going over 1.5, dude. So just a few that just really just crushed my night, dude. It's like, what could I do? But hey, there's always this week. It's going to be pay-per-view week, so it's going to be nice. Strickland describing Abbas kicks as Peter Pan kicks was great.
Dude, I mean, he came out on fire there for like the first minute, but then after that, dude, he just absolutely gassed, and it was just man, it was hard to watch from there. It was awful, dude. Got boxed to death.
But I do want to get your thoughts on this one right here. Grant Dawson having Demir Ismagulov in a full Nelson, man.
Man, I mean, that's like some big brother, little brother WWE shit. Like, that's some shit that like you would do to your little brother, like after you watch like an episode. Like, you was like, hold on, dude, don't tell mom and dad. Just let me do this real quick. Like, let me try this. And dude, I feel bad for Demir. Coming into the fight, obviously coming off the pre-retirement, post-retirement, I don't know what you call it, but saying that this is going to be his last fight. We already knew he kind of had one foot out the door, but I mean, I thought he showed actually a good effort. I mean, there were times where Grant Dawson had, a rear naked choke synced in a couple times in the first round, and Demir did really good defending off the chokes, but just Grant Dawson was just too much with the wrestling, just constant with it. And just once he was able to get him wrapped up, it was just, he was able to take him down and just control him and get that back control. And I think Grant Dawson, he's shooting for the stars, maybe trying to shoot for a Beneil Dariush fight. I just think at lightweight is just such a tough division to try to climb up. He can maybe get like Jalen Turner or somebody like that, but maybe Gamrot. I think Gamrot would be like a little game, but other than that, I think Benny's trying to look up in the division still, potentially looking towards a title shot after the Charles fight. But yeah, I thought that was a really good performance from Grant Dawson to kind of blank Demir the way he did.
Yeah, and the last one on the card really that I really want to talk about. Okay, I have to get your thoughts on dude, this kid's 24 years old and as composed as he looks. Michael Morales, dude. He got the dub over a vet, dude, and Max Payne Griffin, dude. And he looked good the whole time, man. Dude, he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. No, dude, he's going to be a problem. And I did like the way that, honestly, I thought this was really good matchmaking for him, just as far as kind of progress him, trying to give him the right matchmaking to, Max Griffin was a level up for him. And I thought that Max Griffin gave him a tough fight. Max Griffin dotted him up with that left hook there in the first round. I mean, dude, he had that Michael Morales had that big old mouse under his eye for the rest of the fight after that. Max Griffin was definitely giving him problems there in the first round, but I think Michael Morales started getting his timing better in the second round, was able to kind of slip and counter a bunch of those shots. He was hurting Max Griffin a couple of different times, and it's really hard to hurt Max Griffin too. And I just thought the takedown defense, Max Griffin isn't the best wrestler, but he is one of those guys who, once he's flowing, he can put that pace on you. Dude, Michael Morales' takedown defense was just absolutely lights out. And for him to kind of reverse the position in certain scrambles and stuff like that, for him to get the dominant position, I just thought it was all around great performance from him. A good level up for him to fight someone like Max Griffin. Max Griffin was a perfect test, and I thought he passed it with flying colors, man. He faced a little bit of adversity there in the first round, came back and won the last two with flying colors.
All right. Hell yeah, man. Anything else on this card real quick that you want to talk about?
Man, I'm going to say it again, dude. There is no way. And I even went back and watched it like 2 more times. I was like, dude, there's no way I'm underselling this or overselling this with the Guram and Elvis Brenner fight, dude. I mean, Guram is, and I think maybe I'm just taking the odds into account as well, where Guram was such a big favorite, minus 670 on some lines, and dude, Guram was the one taking it on short notice. And for him to come out the first round, have Brenner hurt like he did, Brenner looks like the freaking Joker or somebody like out of a movie with
he looks like
half
a Brazilian candy cane.
Dude,
like,
half blonde, half
like,
blood. Dude, that shit, it looked like it was out of a movie just the way he got up. I mean, he was getting sliced with those elbows. And I told you, I thought he won that second round, and he actually outlanded Guram in that second round. So I thought that was a really good fight. Fight of the year for me. One more. We were so close on saying it, but we didn't. Benoit Saint Denis, man, I think we give a little shout out to him because we were both like, man, I just don't understand how Bonfim is the big favorite coming into this fight. I loved how Bonfim, when Denis landed the kick, Bonfim's like, okay, do it again. And the Bonfim's like, okay, wham. Again, wham, again, wham. And just lands like 10 more kicks to the body after Bonfim's like trying to charge him on and then gets finished. So, dude, Benoit Saint Denis, he's going to make a name for himself, man. He looks super sharp, super dangerous right now.
Yeah. And last note from this past weekend's card, I know D-Rose was going to try to escape it, but you noticed I got some hardware back on my side over here this week. Our three different fights this past weekend was Luana Carolina versus, what was her name, D-Rose?
Petrovich.
Ivana Petrovich, where D-Rose picked Petrovich and I picked Luana Carolina. Our second different pick was Kevin Lee versus Renat Fakhretdinov, where I picked Renat Fakhretdinov, and for some reason D-Rose thought Kevin Lee was going to have a good UFC comeback. And our last fight was on Sean Strickland versus Abus Magomedov, where I unfortunately picked Abus Magomedov. I thought he was going to knock out Sean Strickland, and D-Rose picked Sean Strickland, and the opposite happened. So I was like, oh, get it ready. I'm going to clean sweep D-Rose this week once Abus knocks out Sean Strickland. And man, was I wrong? I couldn't have been more wrong, dude. Yeah, so and new pick champ back over here this week. Feels nice. Yeah.
about time, man. You deserve one, but I will say, man, that was just I tried to wish Kevin Lee all the best luck in the world. I tried to will it into existence, but damn, dude, getting clubbed like that was rough.
Yeah. Did you notice Brenner didn't have his name on his shorts, and it was Oliveira's shorts instead? Truly, brother, if it is a Brazilian fighter's name, dude, it's like they got like 17 names. It's like just pick. I'm sure if you can like Wikipedia him, I'm sure like the name Oliveira is somewhere in his like 6-word Brazilian last name. So I'm sure he just picked it out of there somewhere.
Yep. And he trains with Charles. Like it all makes sense, man. I mean, he might have been using Charles shorts for all we know. They could be cousins. Who knows? Yeah. Charles Oliveira is inspiring a whole new generation of fighters with his blonde hairstyle and just go killer attitude.
Yeah, and new the streak has ended. Indeed, brother. Finally. I'm going to keep it over here for a little bit. So with that being said, let's move into this fight news for this week. I almost said this weekend's fights, but not quite
yet. Down there.
Fight news for this week. Dude, and right after we got off the podcast last week, it was announced Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kelvin Gastelum, dude. So Kelvin Gastelum moving back down to 170 for his first fight and going up against Shavkat Rakhmonov at September 16th. This doesn't say where it's going to be at. Probably. Oh, that's the Mexican Independence Day. That's going to be the same fight. That's the Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And real quick, speaking of Shavkat Rakhmonov, if you guys haven't already, Shavkat Rakhmonov, that like button for us. That would be fantastic. Yeah, man. Give me your thoughts on this fight.
Man, that's a really good fight. I just think it's a super tough fight for Kelvin, man. I like that Kelvin was going back to welterweight, and I like that he's shooting for the moon with this one, going for Shavkat when nobody's going to want to sign up to fight him at this point. Nobody at the top of welterweight, and I think for Shavkat, those guys not at the top not wanting to fight him, what's the next best thing you can get if you can't get a higher rank is a big name. And Kelvin Gastelum at this point is, even if he's not the hottest commodity like he once was, he's still a big name. And if he goes up there and finishes a guy like Kelvin Gastelum, I think it only just improves Shavkat's stock even more as just a future champ at this point.
Lush Lemaine saying Shavkat by decision for the first time. Possibly. If he finishes Kelvin, dude.
Kelvin's been subbed before. Kelvin's been subbed before, though. That's not out of the realm of possibility. And I cannot tell you how many times I've won money with Shavkat by decision. A couple of times Shavkat second or third round sub, including the fight against Jeff Neal when he got the submission with like a minute left. So yeah, Shavkat is very capable of submitting anybody, and Kelvin Gastelum's been submitted before, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Up next, we got Tracy Cortez returning against Jasmine Jasudavicius, also September 16th.
That's a tricky, sneaky fight for Tracy Cortez. I know people are Tracy Cortez fans, and she's got some fan momentum for reasons that we know. But yeah, she does. She has a lot of fan traction, and but I do think Jasudavicius, she looked good in that Maverick fight. She was tagging Maverick up with some head kicks there too. So I think Jasmine, she's going to be a tough fight for a lot of girls with her style.
Silent 6 say my money's on the slightly mounted leg of Victor Kelvin. That's messed up. Up next, dude, Miguel Baez returning to the UFC. Caramel Thunder going to be taking on Jake Matthews. UFC 291, July 29th. Off the top, I got Jake Matthews by KO. What you got, man?
Man, I'd like to see how Miguel Baez looks, man. I mean, Jake Matthews, the problem with him is that you can never get the best performance out of him. I mean, when you see Pete, top tier Jake Matthews, he looks good, but he has times where he doesn't show up as well. So, yeah, this should be a pretty good fight.
All right, I'm going to start running through these. There's a few that I know you don't really care about. We got Juliana Killer Miller returning August 12th. We've got Gaston Bolaños is out, and Marcus McGee will now face JP Baez. So JP Baez returning on August 12th. Jack Della Maddalena has opponent for this weekend. We'll get into it. And sneak preview, his name is the Muscle Hamster. So that's what we'll be referring him to. And Bo Nickal fight with Trayshawn Gore has obviously fell out, and now he's going to be fighting Val Woodburn, and the dude cuts trees for a living, so a literal gardener. So interesting. And then lastly, dude, is one that you don't care about. So yeah, any other fight news that you want to talk about this past weekend? I mean, for this week that I missed, or yeah.
Man, how about Kevin Lee actually getting released from the UFC just one fight in after being brought back by the UFC? I thought that was
surprise you. It does surprise me, dude.
Man, I think we had kind of talked about it.
He's got to come back at 155 if he's going to be in the UFC. He's got to come back at like 155 and like literally start against some like just cheese ball against like what's the dude's name? The Ghost Pepper. Kevin Lee versus the Ghost Pepper. That's how you gotta start back.
Hell yeah. I was going to ask, because I know we kind of talked about it the other day, seeing him, just the way he got finished like that the other day. I mean, we've seen, I told you that I thought even the toughness of Kevin Lee, he could take a shot. I just didn't think that he was going to I just didn't think that he could finish at least that soon. If he did, I thought he might have got subbed later in the fight. But, man, seeing that, do you think that he's even UFC level? Like, do you think he should even be fighting at this point?
Dude, I told you when we came in, like, Kevin Lee he belongs at 155. He's fighting Renat Fakhretdinov. That is huge for 170. He used to fight at 185, dude. And it's like before the UFC, he had like all first round finishes. It's like if he just clubs Kevin Lee once, like we've seen Kevin Lee do the stanky leg in a whole bunch of fights, and he looked like shit against Diego Sanchez. So it's like that's why I was like, I'm surprised. I like the fight for him against Tony Ferguson, dude. That was a fight that I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. But you take Renat Fakhretdinov, that's not even remotely close to the same dude. That's like apples and peanut butter sandwiches. That's not even the same thing, dude. like it's, I mean, they're both food and you can eat them together, I guess, but it's like it's not the same thing, man.
No, and yeah, I agree with you. I think him fighting at 55, I don't think I think that would be the ideal weight class for him, just because he's just way undersized there at 170. I mean, he's got some muscles on him. There's no doubt about it. But I think if he's made 55 successfully before, I think there's a potential chance that he can make it again. But that, and I didn't know if Henry Cejudo also pulling out of the Chito Vera fight, having the shoulder injury. But there is a lot of speculation of people saying that there might have been a chance that Henry was bluffing about fighting Cheetah the whole time, that he was more or less trying to mainly kind of be there just in case if Aljo didn't show up there and the UFC was willing to do an interim title fight, that Henry was kind of willing to be there. Do you think there's any validity to that? And what are your thoughts on the Henry and Cheeto fight falling out?
Wouldn't surprise me too much if that's what it was. But is Henry actually hurt? I don't know. Like, if he is like fucking not actually hurt, like, that's a fucking bitch move, dude. Like, don't agree to fight and then pull out just because you thought you were going to get a different fight instead. Like, aren't you the best in the world? Even like if you're the champion, you would have to fight him sometime anyway. Like so it's like, yeah, I mean, dude, as far as I care, it would be all right if like I didn't have to see Henry Cejudo no more. But if he comes back around, it wouldn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think for him, it's almost like he's trying to make up for lost time where he ended up retiring. And it's like, dude, that's your fault. Like, nobody asked you to retire. Like, no one was forcing your hand. You was trying to force UFC's hand for more money. They were at a time during the pandemic where they weren't able to really do much of anything. They were even lucky to get the show going, let alone to be trying to pay big bucks to someone who really doesn't. It really isn't that big of a draw. Like, Henry thinks he's just this massive, like, Conor McGregor draw, and he's not. And this past pay-per-view that he had with Aljamain really didn't do that great. And it's because, I mean, yes, Henry triple C, whatever. I'm not saying he's not accomplished, but definitely blows his head up to be one of the greatest combat athletes of all time when he's not even the greatest flyweight nor bantamweight champion in UFC history. So, yeah, I just think he overplayed his hand a little bit with the Aljo stuff and being off for so many years, and just a guy that really gets on my nerves. So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny they ended up not getting what he wanted in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not pretty much, so whatever happens, like with him, like as long as like I better not see him fight for a title again without fighting at least once, not for a title, dude.
I agree. But yeah, that's all the news I had as far as anything that I couldn't remember.
Silent Six saying Henry King of Calories for Tudo. Dude, you'll never guess what I threw away like 2 days ago when I cleaned this room up. A Propel water bottle. I was like, what the hell is this? I've never drank this. I'm like, I bet D Rose.
Was it strawberry lemonade?
I guess so. I don't know.
The pink one?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Strawberry lemonade. Yes. Strawberry lemonade Propel is the shit, bro. I'm telling you.
I was like, D Rose leaving his stamp here in the studio. All right. So with that being said, y'all, well, where's it at? There we go. Come on now. That says fight announcements. Let's get into this upcoming weekend's fights in Las Vegas, y'all. It is International Fight Week. If y'all haven't already, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for your boys, and that would be fantastic. UFC 290, Alexander Volkanovski taking on Yair Rodriguez this weekend. So let me get my screen shared with y'all. Let's click that.
Let's go. We're going to get the pig champ back this weekend. 100%.
You ain't getting anything back this week.
100%. I felt bad for you this weekend. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me do a charity pick for Kevin Lee for him, try to spare him a little bit. So
Okay.
I'll try to help him out, but we coming this weekend.
All right, D-Rose. Whatever you say, man. Yeah. So with that being said, this weekend we've got UFC 2. Oh, man, come on, Tapology. Stop doing this to me. Just stay in one spot. UFC 290. Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. It's going to be this Saturday. Prelims start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, happening at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got 14 fights, D-Rose. Holy smokes. Hopefully, I might have to take a little pause break halfway through because I'm almost out of my drink here, so I might have to get something else. But let's get into it, man. I'm going to give you the fights top to bottom, and then give me your thoughts on the card. So main event of the night, we got Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. We got the assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, taking on, man, I forgot it. I know it's like the cannibal, Alexandre Pantoja. I think that's what it is. We got Robert, the Reaper Whitaker, taking on Africa's own, Dricus du Plessis. We got Dan, the Hangman Hooker, taking on Jalen, the Tarantula Turner. We've got Bo Nickal taking on Valentine Woodburn, or Val Woodburn. We've got Ruthless Robbie Lawler taking on Nico Price. What? Oh, the hybrid Nico Price. We got Jack Della Maddalena taking on Josiah Harrell. We've got Yasmin Haregi taking on Denise Gomes. We've got Jimmy the Brute Crute taking on Atomic Alonzo Minifield. We got Edgar Chavez taking on Tatsuru Taira. We've got Vitor Petrino taking on Marcin Tybura. We've got Cameron Simon taking on Terrence Mitchell. Shannon Ross taking on Jesus Aguilar. And then first fight of the night, we've got Kemuela Kirk taking on Esteban. I believe it's El Gringo Ribovics. So give me your thoughts on the card, man.
I think you said Marcin Tybura. I think you meant Marcin Prachnio.
Marcin Prachnio, my bad.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, man, Vitor Petrino. I was like, already moving up to heavyweight, man, already. But no, I think overall the card it's stacked. It is lacking a little bit in star power, but I do think in terms of fight quality, these are some really good fights, even with the unfortunate pullouts in the Jack fight and also in the Bo Nickal fight. You know, unfortunate for those, but I do think overall this card is shaping up prelims all the way up, man. It should be a really good Saturday night of fights.
We got some favorites, huh?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, dude. I mean, two big of favorites. Ones that I'm staying absolutely away from.
All right, Dorian, how do you think I did on all the fighter nicknames before we click on them to see what they actually are? Because I'm just going off the top.
If I'm being honest, I just kind of assume that you're right. I mean, you could call them the booty hole liquor, and I'm just sitting here assuming that you got it right because you pretty much know all the nicknames.
I was right on El Gringo, but I wasn't the Jew-Y and Kemuela Kirk. I guess I'll have to remember that one. Well, he's probably not going to be in the UFC too much longer, dude. Oh, what the hell happened, dude? Clicked on West. All right. First fight of the night, curtain jerker. We got Kemuela Kirk taking on Esteban El Gringo Ribovics. So the Jew-Yan, Kemuela Kirk. The Jew-Yan, Kemuela Kirk taking on El Gringo Esteban Ribovics. The Jew-Yan is 11-5, won 3 of his last 5. El Gringo is 11-1 and won 4 of his last 5. His only loss is his last fight against Luik Radzhabov, fought a couple weeks ago, and he lost by decision. So right now, Esteban Ribovics is a -195 favorite. Kirk is a +165 dog. Kirk's 29 years old, 5'10" and 75-inch reach. Ribovics is 27 years old, 5'10" and a 69-inch reach. So, dude, another note, this is Kemuela Kirk's first fight up at 155. So he used to fight at 145, moving up to 155. Kemuela Kirk and Ribovics have the same height, but Kirk has a 6-inch reach advantage, man. I'm going to let you do you want, or how about this? Do you want me to start this week, or do you want to start this week? Because we're alternating.
Considering that I'm not what do you mean as far as the breakdown? I mean,
Yeah.
the most that I can.
Who's gonna break down and pick first?
I mean, you went into a good portion of it, so how about you finish this one off and I'll go next.
I just read the stats.
yeah. Well, I mean, you were flowing there for a minute, so I thought you were going to.
I was just going with, dude. Kamala Kirk has never impressed me. He got finished by Damon Jackson. He beat Amir Makwani by decision. I don't know who Daniel Swain is, and he also lost to. But right here, losing to Damon Jackson by submission, dude, a year ago, it just doesn't look good, dude. When you lose to the Leech or Action Jackson, it just doesn't look that great. And Esteban Ribovics has power, dude. I wonder how many times Kirk's been knocked out. Because if he's been knocked out a few times, dude, I think like fucking Ribovics is my way no matter what. But lost by punches. Oh, dude, you lost the punches by Billy. Dude, Billy Q knocked you out, dude.
Dude, Billy Q can thud.
Exactly. So, but he don't have power though. That's the thing. So, if he knocks you out, I've got to go Esteban Ribovics knockout this week. I was already on Ribovics. I've already have a bet on him, but this solidifies it.
I think if just the sharper striker too with Ribovic. I think Kamala Kirk, he's a little bit more kind of like a balanced type fighter from what I've seen, but I do agree with you as far as getting finished by
what happened, D-Rose? Would you like if I can pick your nose or something?
Man, I don't know. I can't remember what I said earlier now, but
El Gringo sleeps the
Oh man, maybe the nickname, the booty hole nickname, or whatever I said. That I'm just assuming that you got it right, man. I really am. Yeah. But no, I think Kamala Kirk getting finished by Damon Jackson. Not to say that we can hold it against him too much, because I mean, Damon Jackson, look, we can say whatever, but he is a pretty game fighter for the most part. And
this is going to be a weight class up too, though.
Well, and I mean, if you look, I mean, when's the last fight he had was
a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times when guys take a year off like that, to me, I'm assuming that they're trying to get their mind and body right. You got the 6-inch reach, so I'm not saying he's out of it by any means, but I think I am going to go Ribovic here for the dub here.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Esteban Ribovics this week. Sticking with the pick from Mystic Matt earlier in the week, yeah.
Nailed it.
All right.
Like a freaking crackhead.
Yeah, so next fight of the night, we got Shannon Ross taking on Jesus Aguilar, the Turkish delight. Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross is 13-7, won 2 of his last 5, but lost his last 2. Jesus Aguilar is 8-2 overall, won 4 of his last 5, but lost his last one against Tatsu Taira. Jesus Aguilar is a -215 favorite. The Turkish delight, Shannon Ross, is a +125 dog. Shannon Ross is 34 years old, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach. Holy smokes, this dude has a short reach. Jesus Aguilar is 27 years old, 5'4", with a 62-inch reach, dude. Holy smokes, that's so short. Yeah, dude. With that,
they are flyweights.
With that being said, I cannot trust Shannon Ross. Just anytime I've watched him, he's just gotten demolished. Yeah, I watched him on the Contender Series when this happened, when he got crushed by Vicina Salvador. But, dude, he might be kind of not the best guy himself, dude. So that's not saying a whole lot. And then he got crushed in his last fight by Clayton Rodriguez in like 30 seconds, something like that.
I mean, Vinicius Salvador can thud though for that weight class. Yeah, I mean he can thump.
I'm going Jesus. Oh, wow. I should have man. See, this is why I'm bad. You gotta fucking stop me. I'm
So
going Jesus
I
Aguilar
was,
this week. Sorry, Jesus
yeah,
Aguilar is gonna finish Shannon Ross. That's my pick. All right, D-Rose, go ahead.
yeah. See, I was trying. I tried to get a rhythm there, but no, I mean, you pretty much said everything that needed to be said. Shannon Ross gets crushed pretty much every time I see him, and not to say Aguilar is the best, but I don't know if Shannon Ross is UFC level. So yeah, I'm going Aguilar here, and I think maybe even by finish.
All right, fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Jesus Aguilar this week. Come on, did I click back? I think I did. There we go. Next fight of the night, we got Cameron Simon taking on Terrence Mitchell, yo. Late notice for Terrence Mitchell. Keep that in mind. But anyway, we got MSP, Cameron Simon taking on Terrence Mitchell. Simon is 8-0, obviously won all 5 of his last 5. Terrence Mitchell is 15-2, won all 5 of his last 5 as well. Dude, Cameron Simon is a minus 480 favorite. Mitchell is a plus 350 dog. Cameron Simon is 22 years old, 5'8", 67-inch reach. Terrence Mitchell is 33 years old, 5'10", and I believe he has a 72-inch reach. I saw it somewhere recently. I don't know where it's at, but I believe he has a 72-inch reach. So a few inches longer, a few inches taller. D-Rose, I assume you don't know anything about Terrence Mitchell, so I'm not going to ask you to break this down. But it's going to be a UFC newcomer versus, I guess, kind of a UFC vet. Already had a few fights in the UFC, but, still really young. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, super young, and I think Cameron Simon, he's a guy that he trains with Drekius out there in South Africa, and honestly, if you look at the way they fight, they actually do have a very similar fight style, except I would even say that Cameron Simon, being the younger fighter, is probably the cleaner and more technical of the two. Drekius is a little bit more wild. Cameron Simon, he is willing to get into that dogfight, but he's a little bit more clean when it comes to his kicks and his punches. And he's only 22 years old, so I think he's only just got time to kind of grow and build up. And again, he's got that dog mentality in him, so he is willing to kind of stand there and get into a dogfight and get into one of those dog scraps to get the dub that he needs to. And I think Terrence Mitchell, kudos to him for taking the fight on short notice, but he's definitely going to have his hands full with the much younger guy and probably the fresher guy at this point with him having the full camp, being the younger guy, probably the better athlete at this stage. And Cameron Simon can throw some good kicks too, man. So I think, I think Cameron Simon here, and I think he can knock him out as well. So yeah, I think Cameron Simon by knockout might be a good play.
Fair enough, dude. Or we might see the 135 pound Jared Cannonier this weekend, fighting out of Alaska from Alaska FC. So we might see some this weekend. I'm going Cameron Simon by finish as well, though. I think he gets Terrence Mitchell out of there. Next fight of the night. I'm going to give you the stats, D-Rose, and then I'm going to let you break it down because, both these guys have been in the UFC. Vitor Petrino taking on Marcin Prachnio. Vitor Petrino is 8-0. Marcin Prachnio is 16-6. Petrino is a minus 275 favorite, 25 years old, 6'2", 77-inch reach. Marcin Prachnio is a plus 220 dog, 34 years old, 6'3", and a 74-inch reach. D-Rose, hit it.
Yeah, I think for this fight, it's actually tough to call, and I'm actually surprised that Vitor Petrino is as big of a favorite as he is, considering that he has half the experience. He is the younger fighter of the two, but I would say that, man, Petrino in his last fight against Turkali really had issues.
Which isn't that good, too, dude.
Yeah. Andre Turkali is not that good, and he actually kind of struggled with him there late in that fight, and Turkali actually gave him some problems there in that third round. Petrino really gassed in that fight when he wasn't able to get the finish early on. So that is a little bit concerning. And I think for Prachnio, he's been finding a little bit more of a rhythm. Of course, he had that unfortunate shit the bed moment from William Knight, who just decided to literally watch Prachnio leg kick him to death. until he leg kicked him until he ended up getting cut from the UFC. He basically just kicked him until he was cut, and it didn't even try. So it's kind of tough to say, oh, Prachnio, he's coming in off a win, but it's against William Knight too. So this fight's kind of really tough to call for me. But man, I don't know. That gas ain't really concerned me with Petrino in his last fight. And there's been a couple times where Prachnio has been lined up to be the punching bag for somebody and actually came out and won the fight against Khalil Roundtree and a few guys like that. So give me Prachnio to play spoiler this weekend, man. I think he weathers the storm in the first round. Petrino's going to come out like a ball, like a madman, and try to go for the finish early. But I do think that if Prachnio is able to withstand the storm early, I think you could see some clinch wrestling exchanges. He's got some good kicks. I think he's just going to make it an ugly, muddy fight and get a decision here. I think give me Marcin Prachnio.
Fair enough, man. Personally, I don't blame you too much. I've been flip-flopping on like this fight back and forth all week for the most part. I have a few parlays with Prachnio. I have a few parlays with Petrino, just because this one's one of the ones that I think is lined a little odd, and it truly could go either way. This should be like minus 150 Petrino, plus 125 Prachnio, something like that. Dude, this fight is a lot closer than what the line says, dude, because as you said, Marcin Prachnio came out here and played spoiler a few times, dude. So yeah, I'm going Vitor Petrino this week just to have a different pick, our first different pick of the day, because we are going to try to have 5, but we'll have at least 3. Give me Vitor Petrino this week. Don't feel too great about it, but yeah, that'll be pick number 1 different this week. D-Rose going Marcin Prachnio, and I am going Vitor Petrino. D-Rose on the dog. That being said, next fight of the night, we got Edgar Chairez taking on Tatsuro Taira. This is going to be easy. Edgar Chairez versus Tatsuro Taira. The Pitbull. Chairez, Tatsuro Taira does not have a nickname. He should, though. 10-4 for Chairez, 13-0 for Taira. The Pitbull is plus 600, dog. Tatsuro Taira is a minus 910 favorite, dude. Pitbull, 27 years old, 5'7", 72-inch reach. Tatsuro Taira, 23 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Give me Tatsuro Taira via round 2 submission, dude. Go ahead.
Not too much more. I'm not putting all my eggs in the Edgar Chairez. Chairez, is that what it is? What is it?
Yeah,
did I say right? Chavo Guerrero, whoever it is, Tatsuro Taira. Yeah,
like she's gonna come out here and like do it like super perfect. And I'm like, well, my mouth don't even go in that way. So
yeah. I'll say you uncultured swine.
Yeah, right.
No, give me Tatsuro Taira here. Yeah, pretty easy submission. I can't call the round, but I'm going submission.
I just think Chairez comes out hot round 1, and flyweights, they got a lot of energy, so you never know. Dude, one thing to keep a note: Tatsuro cut weight like 2 weeks ago, and he made weight too. So interesting. Hopefully, that don't have an effect on him, right?
Yeah, that is. Did he make weight? Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember if he actually made weight.
And then Clayson missed by 4 pounds, and then he didn't take the fight.
Right. Damn. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right. That's tough, dude.
Yeah.
Is that a catch weight though, right?
No, they didn't fight. It was a 125.
No, I mean the fight this week for Taira is a catch weight this weekend, right?
It's at 125.
Oh, it says on maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it says on ESPN it's at a catch weight.
Let me check just to make sure, because I could be wrong. I didn't see it catch weight.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Hold on. Yeah, I was like, because dude, if he's cutting back,
it's down at 130. It's at 130.
Yeah, I was like, dude, if he's cutting back down to 125 again, that could change some things. But yeah, at a catch weight, I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. All right. But I mean, he's still cutting weight again. Who knows? Next fight of the night, we got Jimmy the Brute Crute taking on Alonzo Menifield 2. Dude, this actually sounds like it could be like the main event of the next weekend's card because the next weekend's awful. So I would rather have this as the main event next weekend, and like that is exactly how you could title it, but we don't, dude. I didn't ask for this rematch, but we got it. They just fought like 2 months ago, some shit like that.
Yeah, and they had the weird draw with the.
Yeah,
I think one of them had like a fence grab.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so here we go. We got Jim. I guess Jimmy's no longer the Brute Crew or Typology. Don't have it. Taking on Atomic Alonzo Minifield. There we go. Jimmy Crew is 12-3. Won 2 of his last 5. His last fight was against Alonzo Minifield, where it was a draw. Alonzo Minifield is 13-3. Also, he won 3 of his last 5, but one of them was a draw. His last fight against Jimmy Crew. So they last fought each other 4 months ago, where in the fight, Alonzo Minifield pretty much mollywopped Jimmy Crew the first 2 rounds, and then Jimmy Crew was starting to take him down round 3, and Alonzo Minifield grabbed the fence, got a point taken for the first time. Terrible point deduction by Mark Goddard. You should have just put him on the ground. You didn't have to take the point, but not the best point deduction in the world. I don't know why. I think right now, Atomic Alonzo Minifield is a dog, but let's get into it. Minus 115 favorite for Jimmy Crute, and I believe it's like plus money Atomic Alonzo Minifield, right?
Right. I mean, from what I'm looking at on ESPN right now, Jimmy Crute's minus 125, Alonzo Minifield's plus 105, but that's on ESPN as well.
All right, fair enough. Jimmy Crute, 27 years old, 6'2", 74-inch reach. Atomic Alonzo Minifield, 35 years old, 6 foot, 76-inch reach. Did I break the last one down, or did you break the last one down?
I think we kind of just said Tyra by submission. So, I mean, if you want me to break it down first, I can. I'll go ahead and go. I mean, for me, because I think it's a tough fight for me to pick because I do think that Alonzo Minifield, did he look good in those first couple of rounds? Yes. But man, I just didn't like the way that he ended that fight. Jimmy Crute was really putting the pace on him with the wrestling. And I think that, if I'm kind of banking on the younger guy being able to kind of go back, game plan, get better. And I think Jimmy Crute right now, he has his back up against the wall. He's obviously lost, a couple fights in a row, had the draw. So right now, he's in a position to where he needs to save his job. And he's always had the talent. He's just been sometimes he fights like a meathead a little bit and goes out there and gets clubbed a little bit when he doesn't need to. And he pays for it, and he has the last few fights, and I think in this one he might be a little bit smarter. I do think Minifield's super dangerous, but I think he's almost gotten too wrestling oriented now. He's not as willing to strike as he was once upon a time, but I do think if he ends up getting to that striking base again, I think there's a chance that if Jimmy Crute keeps it on the feet, I think he can use some leg kicks, utilize the range, and box up Alonzo Minifield. And Minifield really gassed out in that first fight. So give me Jimmy Crute kind of working on the gas tank here. I think he comes back. Alonzo Minifield's super tough, so I don't think he's going to be able to finish him. But I do think Jimmy Crute gets it done here. Give me Jimmy Crute by decision.
All right, we're going to have our second different pick right here this week. I'm with Colton here. He is with Atomic Alonzo Minifield. Yeah, dude, I think the same game plan applies. He just comes in here and does the same thing he did last time, but maybe puts a little bit more steam on him, tries to finish him because he didn't really go for it too much last time. He just kept dropping him over and over. So maybe like this time he just knows exactly what he has to do. He's watched the film, knows how to get Jimmy Crute out of there, and give me Atomic Alonzo Minifield. Be a knockout this week. That's how I'm going. So our second different pick of the day. So
I think that should be a banger of a fight,
man. Staying here this week, man.
Nah, man, I'm telling you, we're gonna bring that thing home. We're gonna go 2-0 right off the rip right there.
All right. Next fight of the night, dude. We got a banger. This is probably one of my favorite fights on the entire card, if I'm gonna be honest with you. We got Yasmin Haregi or Haregi. Yeah. Yeah. Yasmin Haregi taking on Denise D. Gomes. Haregi is 10-0. Denise Gomes is 7-2. Haregi is a minus 420 favorite, dude. Denise Gomes is plus 320 dog. Haregi's 24 years old, 5'3", 64-inch reach. Denise Gomes is 23 years old, 5'2", 63-inch reach, dude. I'll let you go with the last one first, all right?
Yeah.
In this economy, dude, with the way she gets hit, she should not be a minus 420 favorite, dude. We've seen her twice in the UFC, right?
Right.
I've
I believe
seen
so.
Yasmin Haregi on basically baby deer legs in both fights, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know more than me. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
I can't
and
recall
for
all of her fights
sure in the
off top.
Lucindo fight, I think Estela Nunez also hit her as well, and kind of, I was like, oh no. I mean, she did end up going on the win, but minus 420 favorite against Denise Gomes that literally 2 months ago just went out there, and this was one of my favorite plays. Denise Gomes would be a any way possible finish, dude. She did lose to Loma Luke Mumi by decision in her UFC debut, but hey, UFC debut against Loma's not bad, dude. Um, I I think she just got like fucking wrestled a whole bunch, dude. Yasmin's gonna come out here and bang, dude, and against Denise Gomes, I just feel like it's not smart, dude. Denise's got power, and then she's also got the ground game, right? Because didn't she just now? Yeah, she just now knocked out Bruno. Who am I thinking about? Just now got the knee bar over Bruno Brazil. Was that Karina Silva?
You are,
I
man,
think
I
so.
have no idea.
Yeah, I think so, dude. But dude, just dude, give me Denise Gomes, the plus 320 dog this week to beat Yasmin Haregi.
Wow.
Upset the undefeated Yasmin Haregi, dude. And you know I'm a fan of Mexican fighters, dude. I can, dude, she should not be that much of a favorite. I don't care. I don't care.
Damn.
Silent Six guy, you gotta go Yasmin because 420. Gomez will get the upset dub. Austin with me. Austin is with me. Yeah. My
Man.
wife sleeps Gomez into Viva Mexico. Yeah, man. This is, dude. I just the line is so far apart. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
If she wins, I'll be happy and I'll probably have her in a few plays. But it's like, dude, I don't like it. I don't like it.
yeah, I mean, hey, betting line wise, I do completely understand. But I do think as far as, the fight wise, I can understand it because I do think while Denise Gomes is super tough, we do know that Yasmin, she's super tough. Her striking is crisp. She's got good kicks.
She's in good
Um,
shape right now, too, dude.
yeah, no, and she's looked good in her last few fights, kind of coming up. And I know you noted that she had gotten hit a little bit, but I mean, even if she has, I mean, I think that's part of the UFC. You are going to get hit a little bit, but I think that I think Denise Gomes here, let me see.
Here, let me zoom in on this real quick.
Damn. Yeah, she's looking shredded as hell. Goodness
Dude,
gracious.
she's
Yeah.
got better abs than like Wei Lee does.
Yeah.
and that's crazy, man.
Yeah, with that, I'm going Yasmin Uregi here. Let's go. With that, I will go Yasmin Uregi.
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna be mad if she wins. I just feel like the line's just off. And I think, dude, there's chances for her to get cracked and knocked out, man. Tank Niner, tough bet on this one. Indeed. Me and D Rose are going different on this one this week. In our third different pick of the 5, D Rose is like, I don't know if we're gonna have many different picks this week. And look at us now. Look at us now, dude.
We're rolling.
So D Rose going Haregi. I am going Denise Gomes. Next fight of the night, if we can get this to load, is going to be Dude, here we go. Time to run through this. Jack Della Maddalena taking on Josiah Harrell. Dude, I'm not doing the stats for this. Jack Della, first round KO. You got anything to say here? The muscle hamster, Josiah Harrell.
Yeah, let's go with the smush nose Jack Della Maddalena via nose knockout.
What a hot pick. You won't hear that anywhere else. Only on the Golden Octagon MMA podcast. Me and D-Rose both on Jack Della Maddalena this week. First round KO, yeah? What do you think? First round KO?
Yeah, his nose is literally like this way, dude.
Like I don't even know how you. I don't even know how Jack breathes.
I was on.
I don't even know how Jack breathes. Like, how does he breathe? His shit is literally pushed to the side like this, bro.
Like, bro, how the fuck does he even breathe? Like, I mean, I know we were talking about Drakus having the sinusitis and Colby and Amanda Nunes, but dude, Jack, I don't know how he breathes that nose, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's like I don't even have anything really to say, dude. It's like, what can you say about this fight, dude? This dude's on short notice, gonna come in and get fucking mollywopped.
Going to get tuned up. I feel bad for him, and hey, props to him for taking the fight, though.
The muscle hamster. Thanks for taking the fight. Next fight of the night, we got dude. Is this the main event of the prelims or co-main event? Oh no, one of the two.
I believe it is the main of the prelims.
Yeah, we got one of D-Rose's favorite fights. He's been asking for this for a while. We got Ruthless Robbie Lawler taking on the hybrid Niko Price. 29-16 for Ruthless Robbie Lawler. Lost 4 of his last 5. Only win was against Nick Diaz, if you guys remember that a few years ago. And then Niko Price, 15-6 overall. Won 4 of his last, or lost 3 of his last 5. Beat Alex Cowboy Oliveira and went to a draw with Cowboy Cerrone. Wow. Robbie Lawler plus 210 dog. Niko Price 260 favorite. Robbie Lawler 41 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach. Niko Price 33 years old, 6 foot, 76-inch reach. D-Rose, break it down.
Man, and this is also going to be Robbie Lawler's retirement fight as well. So going to be his last fight as a mixed martial artist. So got to salute Robbie Lawler for all the bangers that he's put on for all the years, and I do agree with Red Bridge here. I mean, Niko has been an absolute savage for a long time as well. One of the more underrated, very fun fighters to watch in the UFC for a long time. I mean, been a fun UFC staple since at least about 2017 or so, and has maintained his excitement throughout his whole career. Fights of that wild style, similar to Robbie Lawler. So I think this fight will be a banger. It will be a little bit slower pace, I think, with both of them being a little bit older. But Niko definitely invites the chaos. And I think it'll be a banger. And, man, I think Robbie in his last few taking a little bit too much damage, man. And even that Nick Diaz fight, I know he got the finish against Nick Diaz. But, dude, Nick Diaz had a lot of time off and was actually boxing Robbie up for a good portion of that fight until Nick Diaz kind of got hit to where he didn't want to get hit anymore. But I think Niko's going to be a little bit sharper. I think he should be able to get it done here. So give me Niko Price.
This is another one that I've been flipping back and forth on, D-Rose, this weekend. I've been on Robbie. I've been on Niko. Dude, let's just go another different pick here. Give me Robbie Lawler. I've never thought Niko was that good. He's tough, but dude, Phil Rowe knocked his shit off like the last time they fought, dude. When's the last time we seen him? It's been a while, right?
Since it's over.
Damn, 6 months? That ain't even that, dude. Yeah, that actually makes me feel just a little bit better, dude. Hopefully Robbie wants to go out here, get a dub, ride off into the victory. He's training for his last fight, and he's not one of these dudes that's like, I might be retiring soon. He decided, hey, this is my last one. I'm out. I'm going to give back. So he wants to go out here, make a statement, get his dub. I agree with Silent Six. I don't know if he's going for Robbie or Niko, but give me Ruthless Robbie Lawler this week to get the dub over Niko Price, dude.
Robbie's a legend, man, so I'd love to see it, but it's definitely going to be a tough fight for him.
Yeah, I'm taking another dog, dude. Is that 3 dogs for me now out of the 4 picks?
I believe so. Something like that.
Oh,
Even the Jimmy
goodness.
Crute and Alonzo Menifield, that's not a.
Still a
That's
dog.
more.
That's a
Yeah,
dog. That's a
that's more
dog.
close. That's more close to favorite or even than the other two. The other two are really considered dogs.
Dog. Next fight of the night, Bo Nickal taking on Valentine Woodburn. Dude, Bo Nickal round 1 sub. You got anything to say here?
Minus 2,800 favorite on according to ESPN right now. I mean, that is just absolutely nuts. I'm trying to look on FanDuel right now. I don't even see the odds
animal,
right now for
all
FanDuel.
caps.
Yeah, I don't even see I'm literally looking right now on FanDuel, dude. I don't see any odds. I don't see any odds for this fight. Oh wow. So
all
whoa.
caps. All caps.
Whoa, dude. Scary, bruh.
Number 2
Yeah.
middleweight in Florida, apparently.
Yeah, let's
Trains
go.
at Fusion XL. What is that? Mike Perry's gym?
Bo by sub. Let's go.
Bo round 1 sub.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, dude. Dude, let the people know. Should you have Bo Nickal in a parlay this week?
Nope.
Dude, could you
No.
imagine he gets fucking cracked and just snooze, dude?
Well, according to FanDuel, I cannot put him in a parlay right now because there are no lines to be put on him right now. Because I mean, how can you even think to bet on this fight? I mean, that's absolutely insane. Yeah, no way I'm even getting close to this fight.
All right, Silent 6 Woodburn KO easy money.
Hey, dude, that shit would be worth. Hey, if the line was available, dude, I would absolutely put $1 on it. Just because, dude, could you imagine if he did? Oh my gosh! And he's 7-0 versus what 4-0? I know he's a striker and he's a.
I'll probably put $1 on it just to maybe win like 20.
Dude, I might fuck around and do it for real.
It's $1, like
yeah,
what's
why
the worst that
not?
happen? You lose $1. Lushlow Main saying bet round 2 start, possibly, man, but. I just see you just Bo going in there, taking him down, and just subbing him right away. Only bet on this fight. This is the only one you can be sure of, dude. You could probably put down like maybe $20,000 to win, maybe back 100, something like that. Maybe win back 1,000 if you put like 20 grand down on it. Yeah. And then we got Red Bridge saying Bo Nickal under 45 seconds for a takedown, most likely. Imagine Bo gets chin like 30 seconds. That would be the funniest shit, dude. Hey, dude, this is MMA. Anything can happen. We saw Juliana Pena knuckle up Amanda Nunes. Don't forget that. Yeah, man. D-Rose, me and D-Rose both on Bo Nickal this week. No secret there. Next fight of the night, we got Dan, the Hangman Hooker, taking on Jalen, the Tarantula Turner, dude. This is a good fight. I'm excited. This has already been booked a few times, but we finally got it here, dude. Hopefully it happens. I don't feel good about Dan Hooker. He's trying to channel his inner Charles Oliveira this week. I don't know if it's going to turn out well for him. Let's get into it. The Hangman is 22-12, lost 3 of his last 5. Jalen Turner is 13-6, won 4 of his last 5. Dan Hooker plus 190 dog. Jalen Turner minus 240 favorite. Dan Hooker, 33 years old, 6 foot, 75-inch reach. Jalen Turner is 28 years old, 6'3", 75-inch reach. So they have the same reach. Jalen Turner 3 inches taller though. Dude, I just feel like you just look at Jalen Turner's record. Besides the Gamrot fight, Brad Riddell CKB, Jamie Malarkey CKB, not Euroshmetic, but I don't know, but. The last 2 opponents that he's fought have been from City Kickboxing, dude, and Dan Hooker is about to be his 3rd City Kickboxing victim, dude. I just think Jalen Turner is bigger. He's younger. He hits harder, dude. We've seen Dan Hooker just take so much damage, dude. Dustin Poirier beat the ever-living shit out of Dan Hooker, dude. Him like fucking versus Paul Felder, dude. That was a fucking war, dude. I seen Dan Hooker earlier this week at the post-fight. What is it? The fight week interviews and shit. He has blonde hair and a black eye right now. He already looks like pale as shit from cutting weight, dude. I don't think Dan Hooker's going to have a good weight cut this week. Give me Jalen Turner to finish Dan Hooker. Yeah, Jalen Turner. Which way you going, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think a pale Dan Hooker is just
Dan
everyday
Hooker.
life. Yeah, I think that's just everyday life to see Dan Hooker pale as can be. I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary. The man could use the sun every once in a while to get a tan, but I do think that, man, I think this fight's not as easy to call as you're kind of making it seem. I do think that Dan Hooker, I think he got a little bit of a swagger back in that Claudio Puelles fight, and I mean, look, he did lose those 2 in a row, but didn't he lose to Islam? And he went to make a drastic cut down to 145 for what reason, dude? I mean, dude, I mean, why? The thing is, with him cutting down to 145, one, you're fighting one of the toughest dudes, and two, he's had a better record at lightweight than he has at featherweight in the first place. The cut was never good for him to begin with. He's always looked slower in that weight class, so I thought the weight cut was unnecessary for him. A lot of his losses are to a lot of the top guys. I think Jalen Turner coming in, he had the Gamrot fight. He ended up taking that fight while Gamrot stepped in on short notice. Gamrot was able to give him trouble even stepping in on short notice, and Jalen Turner came back in the 3rd round, and he was tagging Gamrot up a little bit and even taking Gamrot to a split decision. But I wonder what Gamrot would also look like with the full camp. As you said, Turner's fought a couple of CKB guys, so I think Dan Hooker's got some film down, man, and I think Dan Hooker can get it done here, dude. I think he's fought tougher competition. I think he's going to be a little bit cleaner. Jalen Turner can get a little wild, and man, Dan Hooker's in the fight in the fire. As you said, he's fought with the best of them, and it stood to tell the tale. So I think Dan Hooker has a revival kind of moment, and I think he gets it done.
Looks like I put the pressure on D Rose to pick a dog this week. So that's pick number 5. So that's all that we need. We'll see if we have any more, and we'll pick out of those 5. So D Rose can get his try to get his strap back this week. Because,
Well, no, and truly, I'm not going to pick Dan Hooker if I don't have any type of belief in him at all. I did try to will that Kevin Lee went into existence, but no, I do think there is something to Dan Hooker having the film study on him from having dudes who he's trained with haven't fought him before. I mean, that's something that he has an upper advantage on, and has fought much tougher competition than Jalen Turner to this point.
All right, man. So that being said, we got the feature fight of the night, dude. We got Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on Still Knox, Africa's own Dricus du Plessis, dude. 24-6 for Robert Whittaker. 1-4 of his last 5. Only loss was to the champion at 185, Israel Adesanya. Dricus du Plessis 19-2, won all 5 of his last 5. Robert Whittaker is a minus 385 favorite. Dricus du Plessis is a plus 300 dog. Robert Whittaker, 32 years old, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. Dricus du Plessis, 29 years old, 6 foot 1, 76-inch reach. So Dricus is going to have a height and reach advantage over Robert Whittaker. D-Rose, I want to let you break this one down this week first, man. Go for it. I know you love this one.
Man, I do. I really love this fight. As I've been I guess you could maybe even say I've been a Dricus advocate, on his climb up. I've always noted that he's been a good fighter and a fun fighter to watch. Every time I watch a Dricus fight, I'm like you watching a Nate Landwehr fight. I can almost never sit down watching Dricus fight because his fights just go from one end to the other, one extreme to the next. I mean, he's running full sprint at dudes, just landing 4 or 5 punch combos. Then all of a sudden he gets hit with like a counter, and then he wrestles the dude on the fence for like a minute, just landing bombs like he did against Darren Till. Mark Smith almost stopped the fight then, and all of a sudden Darren Till gets him on the ground, and he's just raining elbows on him. And then in his last fight against Brunson, they're just kind of, the Benny Hill music is playing in the background while Dricus fights, man. And it's just absolutely bonkers every time watching him fight. So I do love it. Robert Whittaker, on the other hand, established veteran, and his only 2 losses since joining the middleweight division in 2014 are to one Israel Adesanya. So not too bad there for a run for Robert Whittaker, where a lot of people I don't think necessarily give him the credit that he deserves. But I think now, especially having those losses only to Izzy and him going out there and having these stellar performances against other middleweights, I do think Robert Whittaker is starting to get a little bit more of that recognition. And I was listening to his interview earlier, and man, I do like the way everybody is right now. But man, I just like where Robert Whittaker's head's at right now, because he had just mentioned and said, man, he's taking Dricus as serious as anybody, because he said there's no one. He said he knew the betting line that he himself is a minus 400 favorite, and he knows that Dricus is coming in with the underdog, with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And he had asked a reporter, Robert Whittaker did. He said, "What's more dangerous than a guy who has nothing to lose and everything to gain?" I know Dricus is going to come in and take my head off, and I have to be 100% ready. And I think Robert Whittaker is. I think Dricus is going to be too tough to finish, but I think maybe a prop to look out for this is maybe the over. I don't know, the over for FanDuel. I know they normally set it at usually just one round to have you decide. Even if it's over 2.5, I think both these guys are going to be tough to finish. If Dricus gets it done, I think it's by finish, but I think Robert gets it done, and I just think he's going to be a little bit cleaner, a little more technical, gets a decision win.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much how I feel, dude. But I never pick Dricus to win, dude. Like, it's like I never pick him to win, and he keeps winning, dude. Like, I'm not going to pick him like to win like today, but he's probably going to beat Robert Whittaker this weekend, and then he's going to fight Izzy, and I'm going to say there's no way he's going to beat Izzy, and then he's going to beat Izzy, and he's going to be like, I'm moving up to 205, and then he's going to beat Jamal Hill after I'm pitting. There's no way he's beating Jamal, dude. He just keeps fucking winning, dude. I don't think he's going to win, but if he wins, dude, it's not going to surprise me anymore. It's like, hey, this dude is just like has Khabib's like wrestling, but whatever that is, but for Dricus, it's his fucking sprint toward you. I don't know, dude, but people can't seem to stop it. It makes no sense, dude.
The unstoppable force, the Dricus sprint.
The unstoppable sprint, dude. He just runs forward like
and everybody's just like just getting tagged up, dude. It's so funny. It
makes no sense. I am picking Robert Whittaker this weekend, but once again, if Dricus won, it wouldn't surprise me, dude. I would be like, you know what? That's what Dricus does. But yeah, me and D-Rose both on Robert Whittaker this week. Co-main event of the night. If y'all haven't already, do me a favor. Hit a thumbs up on the channel. We would really, really appreciate that. We got the assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, taking on Alexandre Pantoja, the cannibal Alexandre Pantoja. This is the third fight between the two. They fought once on The Ultimate Fighter, once after The Ultimate Fighter, and this is fight number 3. We got the assassin baby, 21-6-2, won 3 of his last 5. We got Alexandre Pantoja, 25-5, won 4 of his last 5. Lost to Askar Askarov, no longer in the UFC. And then Brandon Moreno's only loss in his last 5 was to Davison Figueroa, obviously. Brandon Moreno is minus 205 favorite. Okay, Alexandre Pantoja plus 170 dog. Brandon Moreno, 29 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Alexandre Pantoja, 33 years old, 5'5", 68-inch reach, dude. All right, man. Dude. You see me here, right? Like,
yeah.
I have my Brandon Moreno shirt on. I'm clearly a Brandon Moreno fan. Bro, how is he the favorite this weekend? He's lost to him 2 times, got finished by him once. I understand he's gotten better, but his fight style is basically the same still. He's kind of chaotic still, he's always like, he's like, that's what fucking Brandon Moreno does. It's just like, dude, Pantoja thumps, dude, and he's for sure better on the ground, dude. I don't think he should be the underdog this week. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be cheering for Brandon Moreno, dude. I'm going to pick Brandon Moreno to win, but my betting money, dude, is on Alexandre Pantoja this week. Which way you going, man?
Man, I do think that, I think you kind of broke it down good. I do think that Moreno, established champ, super tough. He's gotten better in each of his fights, and I just think even in that last Figueiredo fight, it just goes to show where his boxing has grown. But Pantoja, I just think he's a bull, man, and he just charges forward. Just recklessness. He's just throwing big shots, trying to get you to the fence. And once he gets you down on the ground, he's got really good control. And once he gets the back, man, I mean, he's Aljo like with the backpack, man. I mean, he's not letting go once he gets that back control with that body triangle. So I do think Alex Pantoja, he does, he brings a lot of threats, but I think Moreno, he's just gotten a little bit better at this point, a little bit more evolved. I think his boxing is cleaner, and I think that's going to be the key. Keeping somebody like Pantoja off of him is going to be a lot of good footwork and that jab. I think that's something that Moreno really hasn't had early on in his career when he fought Pantoja versus now. I think his boxing is much more developed to where he can keep the fight kind of at his range, Moreno can. And I think Moreno gets it done here by decision.
All right, fair enough. Me and D-Rose both picking Brandon Moreno, but once again, I am for sure going to have a few bets this weekend on Pantoja because I don't think he should be the dog, or at least a 2-1 dog like he is, or close to it. What's your thoughts on that, though?
I mean, it just doesn't surprise me. I mean, with these betting lines, I mean, like I said, we were both scratching our head with Saint Denis and Bonfim and Guram and Elvis Brenner last week. Some of these lines, I think a lot of them come in just for a lot of fan favorites and stuff too. So I think I seen on one line, Moreno was as high as like a minus 220 on some lines, and I think it's way too high considering the level of competition. But that just shows that people have a lot of faith and putting a lot of money on Moreno.
All right, man. Fair enough. So we will move on to the main event of this weekend. We got Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. Let me get it clicked on here. There we go. Yeah, I was right. Nice. Alexander Volkanovski, 25-2. His only loss in pretty much in the UFC has been to Islam in his last fight up at 155. Yair Rodriguez is 15-3. His last loss was against Max Holloway about a year and a half ago. Alexander Volkanovski is a minus 435 favorite. Yair Rodriguez plus 325 dog. Alexander Volkanovski, 34 years old, 5'6", 71-inch reach. Pantoja. Rodriguez is 30 years old, 5'11", 71-inch reach, dude. Am I breaking this one down? No, you're breaking this one down. You're breaking this one down. I did the last one, co-main event. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, Volkanovski coming in, I guess you could say tied pound for pound number one. I don't know where people stand on that, but coming in as one of the hottest fighters in the promotion. Just way he's dominated featherweight, took Islam to the brink, and some people say that some people thought he won that fight, and Volkanovski, I do think that coming back down to featherweight, I'm wondering that weight management there. I wonder how that's going to be for him coming into this week, but. Yair Rodriguez coming off that Josh Emmett fight, looked as good as he's had to this point in the UFC. His kicks are just so sharp, and there were even times where Josh Emmett still had his guard up, and Yair Rodriguez was still able to get some of those kicks through to the body just because his kicks are so fast and just lightning. And I think that, he's also just evolved in his career. A lot of people hold the Frankie Edgar loss over him, saying, and I was one of those guys, I'll admit that, I said, well, look what happened when he fought a wrestler. He got dominated, blah, blah, blah. But, man, he's really developed his game over the last few years to even shore up that jiu-jitsu, to defend himself well, just in case if it does get to the ground. And his get-ups have been a little bit better. So I do think that he's going to bode a good challenge, but I just think Volkanovski at this point just well-established, just going to be just well-rounded in all assets of the game, or all facets of the game. And I think that I think early on Volkanovski is going to look for a lot of clinch wrestling exchanges, slow down some of the pop on those Yair Rodriguez kicks. And I think as the fight kind of wanes on, I think you'll see Alex kind of keep it on the feet, keep it within the boxing range, though. I don't think he's going to keep it within the kicking range and kind of let Yair do his thing. But I think eventually Volk kind of breaks him down. He doesn't get the finish, but I do think early on you'll see a little bit of wrestling clinch exchanges to take the pop off Yair. And Volk ends up kind of riding it out the rest of the fight. And I think he gets the decision win.
All right. I agree with you for the most part. I just want to point out a few things. The times that we have seen Volk get hurt has been by a knee or a kick or a fake knee. You look back to Max head kicked him, fucking dropped him. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right. Ortega threw this fake knee and then fucking punched him, fucking grabbed his leg at the same time. I don't know if it was a drop, but it looked like he dropped him to me. But I'm a T-City fan, so it is what it is. And then when he fought Islam, dude, Islam caught him with a knee right up the middle, and it stumbled him, dude. So it's that's just the one thing that I worry, because Yair is so nasty at knees and kicks, the way he just sets them up. It's he can be conditioned in one way for 2 or 3 minutes and then just throw something just one time, just a little bit different, and just catch Volk off guard. So it worries me. I am going to pick Volk to win the fight this weekend, same as you, by decision, dude. But once again, I'd be dumb not to put a few dollars on Yair Rodriguez by knockout, right? I'd be dumb not to, because it's that's his way to win, you know?
Yeah, I mean
that get hit.
Yeah. I mean, he has, and he's been head kicked by Max, and could you imagine what a head kick from Yair would feel like if Max they would get it through, So holy smokes.
Just one Ian Gary got fucking D-Rod with, dude. Just a few times to the body, dude, where he just gets him, and just the first time that he gets him to reach, dude, just cracks him in the neck, dude. Could you imagine? I would be holy shit, dude. But
might go flying out the octagon.
Dude, it's just but we've seen Yair struggle against people like Max, but Max is not the same body type as Volk is. But it's I just
Volk's
don't,
definitely stronger though. Volk's definitely stronger.
I just don't think that it's if you're not getting through Max, I really struggle to see you winning against Volk. Now, if he beat Max, I'd be like, yo, we got to fucking fight. But that was a close fight, dude. Max had to go to his wrestling to win that fight, because if it was on the feet 100% dude, I think Yair would have won that fight. So it's dude, that's another thing. If Volk tries to strictly kickbox fucking Yair, it's not going to be the best night in the world for Volk. And shout out our guy.
That's what I was reading. Hell yeah.
Man, you guys pick different. We have 5, right? Petrino, Prochniel, Crute, Minifield, Haregi versus Gomes, Lawler, Price, and Turner, Hooker. That is our 5 for D-Rose to get his pick champ back this week. And D-Rose, I've been chatting with Lush Lomain over Instagram. I believe. Do you wear a size large shirt?
XL. I prefer an XL, but if it's a large, I can fit it. Cool.
I mean, I was me and fucking D-Rose are basically the same size, right? And I wear either a large or sometimes a medium, depending on who fucking makes it. But most of the time, a large is good, because after I fucking wash it, it shrinks a little bit, and then it's usually just good. But been chatting with Lush Lomain, and dude, Lush is a cool guy. Lush is a cool guy. So
that dude, man. That dude, and always showing support, man. That dude, man. Lush.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out.
I made Lush and Tank Niner mods in the chat, so they're able to get out here any losers that try to come in here with any racist shit or anything like that.
Nice.
Because we do have it. Yeah, but that's for the pick champ this week. Our 5 different picks. D-Rose is going to have a chance to get his belt back this week. And let's just count real quick, man. So you have an underdog on the first fight of the night. You got a pretty big dog. I got an underdog, a near even fight there on the second one. I got a big underdog on the third. I got a big underdog on the fourth. and you got a dog on the 5th. Yeah, so it's about even. I would say we both got 2 dogs, and one's pretty even, right?
Right. Yeah, that's why I said
Yeah.
that's pretty even for the most part. So that sounds good.
All right, cool.
Like
All
Les
right,
said,
y'all.
sounds
Hell
good.
yeah. That was, dude, I'm excited for these fights this weekend. I don't have to go into like work for the rest of the week. Like I get to work from home, so I'm going to be doing nothing but like fight studying here at the house, man. Like I got some work I have to do, but yeah, man, I'm
Watch all the embeddeds.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. For those of you who don't know, my card video, you didn't see it this past Monday. You saw my little news segment that will continue on. Hopefully, we'll have the time to do that because that took a long ass time. But card video will be this upcoming Friday, and I'm gonna do Change the Cheddar probably Saturday morning around like noon, something like that. Because I'm not going to be up early Saturday morning. So, yeah, Change of Cheddar will be Saturday before the fights. UFC card video on Friday. D-Rose, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Good pod. And we coming back for the pick champ, baby. Let's go.
All right, D-Rose trying to get the pick champ back, because he misses it for the 3 days he hasn't had it now. So, it is what it is. Staying over here this week. At least hopefully. I'm confident in my picks. I got 2 solid dogs, dude. Denise Gomes. I don't want to see Haregi get crushed, but dude, it could happen. It could for sure happen this weekend. But anyway, yeah. Best picks for the card, Dorian. Do you have a 3-leg before we get out of here to leave the people with?
Oh, I tell you what. The only thing I'm waiting on right now is some props. I definitely need the props because, man, a lot of these money lines, which I am a guy who feasts on money lines, do not like the money lines in a lot of these fights this weekend, man. A lot of heavy favorites, but I do think, like I said, maybe a Miranda by decision, and I do think I think that's a prop that you could look for, and I do think Nickal Price by decision, or maybe even not decision, but I think the over in that fight. I'll take the over in that fight as well.
All right, fair enough. You heard the guy. Those are his most confident picks for this weekend. Once again, I'll be doing Change the Cheddar probably Saturday morning. I'll hop on here. Dorian, if you ain't got anything going on, I'm not even gonna pop it up on the screen. If you ain't got anything going on, if I can Saturday morning, but I'm sure you got to work. But
unfortunately,
that being said, that's gonna be all from us. I'm Matt. D-Rose is on that side of your screen. I'll see y'all Friday for a card video. But that's going to be all from us here this time. Catch us next week right back here, 8:30 p.m. next week. Same time, same place. We'll get out of here. Matt, D-Rose, catch y'all later. Peace.